Good Sunday. I was going to tell y'all when we said we got a lightning strike the other day, John can't find a place on this tree, but this tree is dying. It's an oak tree, so we know it took some of the lightning. We don't know if it was airborne. He can't find a strike directly on the tree, but that tree is definitely dying. Good Sunday again. It's hot as blue blazes. Humidity's really high. Got my shirt on again. Some of y'all liked this the day when I wore it. It was still draped across the end of the bed, or I just wore it Friday evening. I am going to get Chatty Cathy, aka Mama Love. It's about 5 to 1. Just got in from church. Now look, you know you've had good church when you come home and your face and your nose is all red from crying. Good church. Good church. Woo! I'm telling you, this is the reason I encourage y'all. Find you a place to worship. Went down, Pastor Kelly prayed earnestly with me for these headaches. I said, you know, one of y'all told me that your husband gets them this way. You're a nurse, and you used medical terms. I got to go back and look at it because she was telling me what kind they are. And then, if you watch Ellie and Jared, Ellie is pregnant with their 4th child. She's been having migraines, and I watched theirs. And they were talking about managing, oh gosh, help me remember, Lord, what? Anyway, it's like where there's been damage in your neck or where your neck's not doing right, and doing a massage or kind of like manipulating what is, oh gosh, I screenshotted it, but I'd have to look. So it's just like the Lord's, you know, been showing me different things, and then one of y'all said that your husband does the same thing, and that they can last 10 to 14 days. Now, what happens is I don't have these very often, thank God, and then you forget kind of what brings them on. And I know the barometric pressure has a lot to do with it, and there's a tropical depression coming up toward the Gulf. And so, but I'm telling you, Kelly prayed, and I'm just moving it and believing that God's going to touch my body, and that I don't have to go 10 to 14 days, because I woke up with this Wednesday. I was on the heating pad almost all day yesterday. Did not get to go to my boys' football games. Just couldn't. But John said, Suzanne, it was so hot. And the heat, you know, I'm not real good with the heat. Heat has always bothered me. Heat bothered my daddy, and heat bothers me. Like when I just changed out of my church clothes, I told John, I said, feel my back. It was just soaking wet because we've been down the altar praying. We have just gotten home from church. We didn't leave church till like 10 to 1, and maybe a quarter to 1. Normally we're nowhere near that late, but we just had a long altar service, and it's just the best thing. I love it. I love it. And love it, love it. I was going to try to see if there was any guys there. I cannot believe that one car ran through both of these mailboxes. We came up right after it happened the other day. I don't either. It tore the front end of his car up, but he was standing right there, and he just motioned like I'm okay. He ran through both of them. I don't know how. Well, that's kind of what because it was early. It was like, and his foot may have hit the accelerator. All right. The guy is replacing those 2 brick mailboxes. They said the guy fell asleep, which may be very well what happened, and his foot hit the accelerator. When you go through 2 huge brick column mailboxes, you go in. But anyway, what was I saying? Church is just so good. Whew, I love church like that. I pray, you know, and all churches are not alike. I mean, Ashley's church and our church is very different. And if y'all get tired of me talking about church, I'm sorry, but I just love it. It's just so fulfilling for me. And hey, like I told you, I've got a t-shirt collection from that church where I've been hurt before, but I'm keeping on. I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna make it. I'm good. So, but I'm going to get Mother and taking her to eat. But no, what I was telling y'all, I didn't get to go to the boys' ball games yesterday, and it just broke my heart. But John said, Suzanne, it was so hot under the tent. He said they were miserable, and he had the fans to go around his neck. So, well, and then our boys, being they're going up to the older group, they play later. It's what Janice, my friend, she had to be there at 9. They were gone by 10:30, and I said our boys didn't even start playing till 1 and 2:30. So you're in the hottest part of the day then, and that's what it's going to be. So hopefully, as they don't play next weekend, so hopefully by the time they play again, it will cool down a little bit. But I cannot miss the next time. I just couldn't. I stayed on the heating pad, and so anyway. I think I keep them Tuesday this week. And there again, I've got to tell y'all what Riggs said. And I may have to be there at 7 o'clock Tuesday morning. So the other morning, the first morning that I was going to pick them up after school, Ashley had told them that I was picking them up the next day. She said when they got up that morning, he said, "Where's my Gingan?" And she said, "Well, Gingan won't be here till this afternoon to get you." And he said, "No, my Gingan comes in the morning. My Gingan brings breakfast." I was like, oh my goodness. Because see, the reason I would go in the mornings and be there at 7, I'd bring breakfast to Reed and Rhett because I had to be there because Riggs would either be I'd be taking him to school at 8:30, or he wouldn't be in school that day and I'd have him all day. Well, now they're all 3 going to school with their daddy. And so now there's no need of me being there at 7 o'clock. But I have a feeling that ever so often I'm going to have to be there at 7 and take 3 boys breakfast. Because I am breaking the tradition that he has seen ever since he's been born. My Ginga is supposed to be here and bring breakfast. Oh my word. Ashley and I, neither one even thought about that. So I told John I may have to make 2 trips on some days. I may have to be there at 7, give them breakfast, and then I could even take them on to school, then come back home, then go back at 2:30. I'm probably going to have to do that about once a month. Because I didn't think about it breaking the tradition. But the other boys were like, yeah, we're never going to get breakfast anymore. They love McDonald's pancakes. But I'm pulling in to get Chatty Cathy. I was changing clothes, and I told John, I said, there'll be a time when Chatty Cathy won't be there to take to lunch after church. And I'm going to love every moment that I can. So we'll see what kind of mood she's in today. We go in and get Mary Faye. Be right back. Look who I've got.
Hello, it's me. Oh, good Lord. I'm so ugly, I don't want to look at me.
You are not ugly.
I look like a funny
You're gorgeous.
I look like a funny old white-headed woman.
Well, now you are a funny old white-headed old woman.
I ain't too funny, though, am I?
You can be pretty funny.
I can be funny silly, too.
I know.
But anyhow, all of us
At
like
least we have a good time, don't we?
Yeah, we do, and we all
Let's
do
check
well.
out the neighbors down here. They're cutting some trees. They better not be cutting trees on your property. They already,
let them cut them
they
down.
already got the camper on your property. Oh, they're going to so want to buy your land when you're done.
He wants me to die tomorrow or today.
Yeah. Yeah, they're cutting around there.
Well, he can do what he wants to. He ain't getting nothing for a while. And he ain't getting nothing if I die, because y'all are going to handle that situation.
Exactly. I may just sell it to somebody else just for the heck
Put
of
a
it.
turd in there. Because he's a smart It take down about 2 seconds to slap him.
Oh, so what was it that happened? Some limbs fell on his car or something?
Something hit it,
and Dana had already told him.
He said, so Dana, he called me. Well, naturally, I called Dana.
Yeah.
I come down here walking around like a horse's tail. I mean, he was walking. He walked around there. He
Put your
said,
seatbelt on, Mary Faye.
I told
Put your seatbelt on.
What?
Your seatbelt.
Okay. He said, I told you or something. I forgot what.
Because didn't he tell him that he didn't need to park under that tree?
He says you're on. I've told you a dozen times you're on Mother's property. See that whole place that takes the cars down there is on ours.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then he wanted Mother. He told you it was going to cost how much?
$7,000.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wash those pants, Mama. They're dirty. Both
I know
legs.
that's it, but they don't want nobody to know.
Well, you wash them after this.
Oh yeah, I love to wash them. I don't mind that at all.
Can you see those spots on your legs?
Yeah, I can see them few of them. I keep walking them out.
Well, I'm just glad you can see the spots. I don't care that they're on your pants. I just want to make sure that you can see them.
I will get them out tomorrow.
That's a good sign if you can see them.
Okay.
Well, I mean, with one eyeball, no glasses, 95 and a half. That's a win-win-win.
Sometimes I forget all that stuff.
You forget all that, don't you? That's what I told a boy at church today. We was talking about. I asked him. He came there when he was a young boy. Now he's back as a young adult. And I was trying to figure out how much older he was than Ashley. Mm-hmm. He's 48 and she's 41. And I was trying to remember. And I said, Lord, here I am, 66. I said, but now I've got a 30-year-old brain. And this other guy was standing there and he said, you just want it to be 30? And I said, oh Lord, honey, 30's fine. I don't even take 40. I'll take 40-year-old brain. But my body does feel 66. And every time I say that, I have subscribers to say, you don't look like you're 66. And I'm like, my subscribers will say it. The people who don't know, they may be hearing it for the first time. They're like, there's no way. So, okay, so at the ballpark last Saturday, oh, it was so hot. And I had, Ashley was standing there talking to this redheaded girl, and I didn't know her. I don't recall that I've ever seen her. And I just reached over and I said, I'm burning up. I'd been standing like toward the fence, and I just turned around and had not even spoken to Ashley. And I said, I'm burning up. And I just reached and got Ashley's water out of her hand, take a drink. And that girl looked at me and I said, oh, I'm sorry. I'm Ashley's mother. I'm just not a stranger. Getting the water out of her hand. She said, no, you're not, like that. And I said, no, I'm not what? She said, you can't be Ashley's mother. And I was like, why? Because we don't favor, do we? And she said, no, you're not old enough to be Ashley's mother.
We should have just kept her talking.
And so Ashley's like, oh, I said, don't say that in front of Ashley. She gets mad. And Ashley said, there again, I just want to say, is it because I look old or because she looks young? And she said, it's because she looks so young. I never would have pictured her. I would have thought she might be an aunt or an older sister, but never your mother. And Ashley said,
I'm going to see what they say about her grandma.
Ashley said, I'm going to just get used to it because I hear it all the time. I said, well, at least people are consistent with it.
If she don't know nothing, they're going to bring me.
Yeah. And there's another one.
They say another one of that?
So I was 25. Well, I was 25 in 12 days after I had Ashley. And Mother was 29 when she had me. So I was a surprise.
You was the cutest little thing.
I know, I was cute.
You was a good kid now.
I know.
I didn't have no trouble.
They saved the best to the last with me.
Yeah, you were a good baby.
Good kid.
I'd take you right to the bed with me and you'd sleep right there.
I just peed on her all the time. There wasn't no such thing as Pampers back then. We had great church today. That's what I told them. When you leave there, red face and red nose, you know you've been crying and you've had good church. So he's really been preaching good.
Well, that's good.
And she is so sweet, Pastor's wife. She's just so very, very sweet.
Who the lady, his wife?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's what she's supposed to be.
She is, but she just has a good nature, and she's just like everybody else. You know,
well, that's what I'm saying. That's why when you're in a crowd like that, you've got to
right. So I did a video last week decorating with that one stitch of makeup on. Let me straighten this thing up again. Yeah. I was just going to decorate, and I told them, I said, I burn up when I do anything in the house, and I'm not going to put on makeup. And they're like, we don't care whether you got on makeup or not. But you know, these young girls that are really making a career out of their channels. I've done had my career. I've had my career.
Yeah.
The Lord blessed me,
I don't understand what they are, but I don't know.
Well, it's just YouTubers, and they'll get on there and they'll be dressed so beautifully, and they'll have a full face of makeup on. They'll be sipping coffee, and I'm on there drinking a diet sun-kissed with no makeup on. Fat. One of my younger ones said, Miss Suzanne, you look great. Don't you worry about how you look on here. You know, people's weight does not. I love people just like they are, and if you could ever get it in your mind,
just like Jessica, she's lost.
Yeah, she has.
But she's built in a way,
Yeah.
and she's.
But if you could ever get in your own mind the way that you see people, you don't see them and say, oh my gosh, they're overweight. I don't see that on my friends that are heavier. I just see them and just love them.
If a person's that shape,
But we don't extend that grace to our own self.
No.
You know, we're all constantly going, oh, I don't.
But you know, I never, of course, I don't never go nowhere, but I don't never think nothing about it myself.
Yeah, you don't go nowhere. Yeah.
Suzanne, I'm going to have to get this mess off.
Mother, she pulled one the other day. I think you're picking at sores.
No, I'm not. I
think
did touch one.
I think you're on meth.
I'm on what?
I think you're on meth. I think that's why people that are smoking meth, they pick at their face like that. I think you're on drugs. You've made that a sore right there.
No, well, let me tell you, right down here.
You have gotten where, okay.
All I ever do is touch them with the end of my fingers, trying to find them. I can't get them out. I was going to. Sorry.
You've made that a sore. This is what you're doing constantly, rubbing your face.
Well,
and Jessica pulled that one out the other day.
I know.
Have you got more?
They some, all right. They're not as bad. They're getting better.
Am I going to start shaving you too?
No, if I don't. If I get whiskers, I'm keeping them.
Well, that's what you're rubbing. Is whiskers.
Well, no, honey.
I'm going to tell you, put your hand down. Every time I see it go up, put your hand down.
It just, they aggravate me.
Well, when we get home, if you won't let me forget, I can't half see them because they're white and I'm half blind. You probably can see them better than I can.
See what?
The white hairs,
no.
The whiskers, your beard.
I can feel them. I can't. See, I don't have any fingernails.
But you've gotten to where you do this all the time.
Well, it's because they do aggravate me.
I think it's just your new little habit.
It's just stupid.
Those stupid old crazy women. Stupid old crazy women.
I tell you what, I try not to put no fingers.
They ought to just put us down when we're younger, shouldn't they?
I think they just will flatten us.
Put us down like an old worn out horse.
Just whack.
And I said horse with an S. A horse.
I'm telling you right now.
I may be a lot of things, but I ain't never been a horse.
Me either. Nor a horse's friend.
Well, I'm not going to say that.
You just think about it.
I'm not going to say what I'm thinking.
What?
You said you're just not going to be a horse's friend.
You knew what I'm talking about.
I know, but I started to say that I was, but I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
I know. Don't say it.
I'm not going to say
No, because you're a good religious woman.
That's
we don't
right.
want that.
I've just been to church. I don't need to be calling anybody a horse.
And don't come out through here and knock out all your juice. Susan, that's where you get your ball games, ain't it?
My balls games. Yeah, that was the old stadium.
Yeah.
This is my old high school. Loved it. Loved it.
You'll love it till the day you die.
Put your hand down.
Well, I can't.
I'm gonna start. Now, where are we now? Coleman. Where are we going? Coleman. We're not going to Coleman today, though.
I know it. Go where you want to. I don't care.
I'm just tormenting you because I
You ain't
can.
tormenting me because
Oh, please tell me I am. That would be a joy. We're going up to our little restaurant that we like to go to. We let the churchgoers get out. Sometimes it's crowded when we get there, and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
It's kind of like sometimes you feel like a nut, and sometimes you don't.
That's the truth. There's a lot of
So,
sometimes they just don't come to church.
So it was funny because I watched this young lady named Marina in East Tennessee, and she's as I told him the other day, she's as country as a mater sandwich, but she is so precious, and her channel has just grown like crazy, and she's country. And
So she
anyway,
likes tomatoes, huh?
so they were coming home from somewhere the other day, and she said, we're going to stop at this restaurant. We'd never eaten there, and it was a Jack's. I didn't know that Jack's was limited. Jack's was an Alabama restaurant. I thought it was a Southern restaurant. But I wrote her and I said, girl, we've eaten at Jack's our whole life. It's in Alabama, but it must have been in that part of Tennessee too. I'd heard that it was in a little bit of places. And so then I said, girl, they used to sell their cheeseburgers for 15 cents. Now, Mother helped me think of the song. Jack's hamburgers for 15 cents. You want more, more, more. You'll come back to Jack's for more, more, more.
Hey, I forgot all that.
That has got to be from the 60s, if not even earlier.
Yeah.
Now, Mother, do you remember the time that we were in? The Jack's used to have a unique shape to them. They were, I can see it in my mind the way it was built. Not a very substantial, a lot of windows and kind of metal. Do you remember when we were in Jack's, the time that the tornado hit? We were in that Jack's at Dora, and we had to go back
Was
into.
I with you?
Yes, we had to go back into the kitchen.
Well, it seems like it never, Lord, I'd have never.
That would have been in the 60s.
Good Lord, no, I know I don't remember.
Well, I'll tell you, we were supposed to go to that church, and then that church got blown away. There's your first sign.
Huh?
There's your sign. Don't go.
Right there.
But we did. No, the church got damaged, but you know, the house next to it got blown away, and that somebody got killed in it. But that was our sign not to go to that last church. I wish Daddy had listened to that, because our life fell apart at that church.
Oh, Lord.
I told him the other day that my collection of being hurt in church t-shirts was very large.
Yep.
I have a lot of them. She does too, but I have even more than she does.
I'll tell you what, when people mess this up in church, they just might as well quit.
But no, they don't. That is not true.
Well, maybe they should
You
go.
don't quit, because it is not God that does it to you.
I know that.
But now, Mother was a preacher's wife, and that was very hard. But God has given you life and peace, and He gave you another church that you loved after that. So no, don't quit. Sometimes you have to find a new church. Sometimes you have to take some time.
I
You loved it, didn't you? She
I thought
loved
that was so smart.
her last little church was just precious.
One that letter she sent on there said, what was it? Sweet.
Oh yeah, and Sweet Faye,
Yeah.
she included you. But anyway, yeah, that church, we kind of, life fell apart there. But I think that was the tornado that hit that area, which was probably like 10 miles away from where we were at Jack's. And I remember it just being windows, and I can remember the windows kind of moving from all the wind. And I remember we all got back in the kitchen. And of course, it didn't hit right where
Now,
we
where
were.
was that at?
At Jack's.
And
Come on, ain't nobody gonna run over you. You're going 10 miles an hour, so don't you look, she burning the roads up.
Yeah.
That'd be you. That's what you'd do.
yeah, you're full.
They'd be fussing at you like, get out of the way, old woman.
I used to drive pretty Puritan.
I followed you. I got behind you one day, and I thought, I'm gonna see how she drives. And you were driving good.
Yeah, I knew.
Mother didn't drive anymore after she lost vision in her one eye. She was 89.
Yeah.
But you know, Mother, that's longer than most people live that you drove.
I know. I enjoyed driving.
Put your hand down.
Well, now, Suzanne, that's a habit of mine.
I know,
Anyhow,
and I think you're making sores on your face because it's a habit.
I can't make another sore with that flat little thing.
Well, you can if you rub the hide off of it.
I don't rub the hide
Well,
off.
you got a meth sore on your face.
I tell you what, I've
She's
got.
been smoking meth. I knew it was going to happen just any day now that she's going to get on drugs. I knew it.
Me?
Yeah. I just want to know who. Well, no, I'm not going to ask who your supplier is.
No,
It'd have to be Jessica.
And
And I've probably been Venmoing her the money too.
Lord have mercy on us all.
We're
I
back.
was always goofy enough without having to get anything
Isn't that
go
the
with
truth?
it. I was always,
So-
I always enjoyed myself.
I was talking about I've had a headache for several days, and Janice was sitting in the choir, and she said, and you're such a pansy about drugs. And I said, well, you know, I think that's a compliment. If you're a pansy about drugs, that means that you can't take drugs and you don't take them. So what does that make you? I can't take nothing, y'all. I will scratch myself to death with codeine. I will rub my little And then I will scratch my arms and other parts of my body to death. They put me on a morphine pump one time when I had surgery, and about the time I hit the second time, I was itching. It's when I had my hysterectomy. I was itching all over. I don't know.
Took all that crap after you. You didn't take all that stuff after me.
No, my physical makeup is not like yours.
You might ought to be proud.
If Daddy had lived long enough, I'd probably be just like him.
Yeah.
No. I don't think our physical makeup's alike at all.
No, it's not.
I mean, look at them.
You're the fattest little tanky baby.
But look at them little bitty legs. One of my legs would make both of your legs. I didn't get your daintiness. I got my daddy's strapping. My daddy was
one thing. He don't talk, do the things he does.
That I don't.
Talking.
I mean, not in talking, in action.
And that's right. So I'm glad.
Amen. I'm glad I didn't take after him like that. But I am built like Dana and like my daddy.
Yeah.
Cece was the more feminine. Cece had really tiny arms, and y'all know that's one of my biggest pet peeves is my arms.
Randy was
Little tiny wrists, like my aunt, like mother's sister. And I used to hate her. I said, I hate your wrist. And she's like, well, it's the only ones I've got. I'm sorry. They're so tiny and dainty. And she could put her makeup on flawlessly. And if I grew one flower, she grew 10. If I walked 1 mile, she walked 5.
In other words, she
was an overachiever. She was just, that's the way she was. They grew a garden. She put up 2 deep freezes full of vegetables in a double wide. They lived in a double wide with no air conditioning. Do you remember that time that me and you went up there and she was wet? Me and you went up there when Sissy was putting up vegetables one time, and she was wet from head to toe.
She always overdone everything.
But nobody should have to can stuff without an air conditioner. I'm sorry.
She did.
I mean, that would have been like in the 80s or 90s. And so now, so you say the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. How do you do the 2000s? You say 2000s.
I didn't talk.
Or 2010s. I never hear anybody say it. Oh, that happened in the 2010s.
Maybe
they don't say
over.
that. How do we do that now? I mean, I was born in the 50s. I remember the Beatles in the 60s. I graduated in the 70s. I had my youngin' in the 80s. I went through a divorce in the 90s.
Glad you did.
Got remarried in the 90s. So what do you call the 2000s?
I don't know. Quits.
Because now you can't go by decade. Do you say, oh, that was in the 2010s? You're not going to say
Y'all
that.
are all going to be dead by the time that's all done. Every one of you did it just laying flat.
She don't realize we're already into 2022. But
I mean, I'm going to get in one of them.
After 2000, the years are just like a melting pot to me. I don't remember one 2000 year from another.
Yeah, I just sign them off.
I mean, I don't. I'm just like,
y'all
gonna have to tell me how this works because I don't know.
Hey, don't expect to learn anything.
Oh, that was in the 2000s. 2001.
What was that in?
Well, that was in the 2010s.
But when I was a little girl about going to school at Dora.
In 1930 something.
And I didn't know enough sense. I didn't have enough gumption.
She didn't know enough sense.
And that was the undoubtedly awful situation of her.
What, you going to school?
Oh, the school was all right. That one.
It's just that y'all was poor as...
Was poor as Job's turkey. And
yeah, now, who was Job's turkey?
I don't know. It belonged to somebody.
Did he belong to Cooter Brown? Because we don't know who Cooter Brown is.
I don't know. Daddy worked all the time.
As poor as Job's turkey.
And
is that Job in the Bible?
Poor mama, she had the hardest time getting anything.
She definitely, like the old song said, lived one day at a time, didn't she?
She'd send me to the store to get $1 out of Daddy's thing.
Did y'all have clackers?
Yeah. And you could go out and get it, and then they would take it out as his you know, when they give me but I'd have to run up there and get it just to finish the dinner.
Y'all know what a clacker is? They used a clacker.
Clacker was what they gave out to
during
you.
the Depression, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of money, they'd give you a clacker.
Give you a clacker. It really run for the money, but it was not money.
But it was the same as money.
And we was all ignorant.
Now we just make more and more money,
Yeah.
and we're just getting deeper in debt.
What we done, we was undoubtedly so ignorant.
But you said y'all wasn't as poor as Daddy and them were.
Well, we weren't as poor as all of them, no.
Because you said y'all had actually had food, where
yeah.
Daddy and them went without food during the Depression.
Yeah, you take.
I've told y'all this before, but Daddy would tell us after they'd already cut the turnip greens and the collards, he was so hungry he would go dig the stalks out of the ground and eat the stalks. That's bad. And here we are fixing to go partake. We never have to worry about being hungry. How blessed are we?
Well,
sometimes I just wonder, we're so blessed.
You remember too that we were in the war a good bit.
Oh, I know,
and
but
that's what was the
I just don't never want to take God's blessings for granted. And I feel like so many people do. That, you know, I want my boys, I mean, they have everything they want, but I want them to appreciate life, you know?
Oh, yeah, I know you do. Well, she said, for God's sakes, don't roll.
I know. This little hill, this little hill, I'm going to straighten up. Now, don't open your door. Don't open your drawers yet, okay?
If I go off of this, I'm going to be in it.
If you go off of this.
What if it was to flop up?
Well, if you go off of this little hill.
I'll tell you what, let's don't talk about it.
There ain't no way I could get down there and get you.
Well, no,
you just have to be down there till we got a wrecker here to pull you out.
I'd be so dead, it'd be fun.
Put the chains around you and drag your butt out of that hole.
Yeah, just say, take her hard. She's done cold.
Well, yeah, you got to put those in the washing machine when you get back home.
Well, I just dropped something on it. That's what I've done.
Yeah, like 5 times.
No, I ain't done it on no darn 5 times.
She can't see. She's just pretending.
Who do you think
quit wiping them with those Kleenexes because they're getting white on them.
Who raised you, you little heifer?
You did, but it was a long time ago.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You look better than some of the rest of them did. Even though they did look...
She is salty. Did you know that you're salty?
Yeah, I'm salty. I don't care.
What does salty mean?
I don't know. I reckon it's because I took a
salt shaker to you.
I don't know a lot.
Let's go in and eat, okay?
I don't know a lot of stuff that people talks about now. I just stand and act like I do.
That's right. That's the best way to do it. Well, let me ask you this, Mary Faye. Are you full?
Full as an old goose.
An old goose. So we had our little, they're called hot tacos, and it's because they make this special slaw to go on top of them that's hot.
And it's so good and make you slap your grandma.
Yeah, well, it makes you slap,
sad
make you slap your mama. Make you slap your mama.
Well, Suzanne, you have lived all these years and never slapped her.
I'd like to see the day. I'd like to. That was an air slap.
I know it.
I'd like to see the day that I ever slapped her. She'd probably
or either that I ever slapped you, you little.
I know. She'd probably still knock my teeth down my throat if I tried to. But we got that, and so she's got 2 of the little tacos. They're little soft tacos.
And I'll work on them little suckers when I get
some slaw left, and I got her some lemon icebox pie to take home too. So we are fixing to head home. It's been a great Sunday afternoon, hasn't it, Mama?
Sunday?
It is Sunday, all day. I went to church, remember?
Okay. I don't know what day it is.
You know what John's brother says about all of us being retired?
Yeah.
Every day is Saturday.
Well, that's about right.
So it don't matter if it's Saturday or Sunday, what day it is with you. We're going to head home. And I got
full as 2 old rat balls. Just like 2 old rabbits. Eat.
Did you say rat balls?
I said it, but that wasn't what I meant.
Her words get misconstrued.
No, it wasn't that. I knew what I was saying, but I was putting it in the wrong place. Yep, I knew I was making up a...
Hey, they're having a birthday party over there. They got balloons and everything. You want to go there and get...
I don't want to.
Well, let's go and get some cake and act like we know them.
I don't want it. I don't want my belly full.
See, they got balloons and it says happy birthday. Let's just go and act like we know them. You want to?
I have done that enough all my life. Let's just don't do it.
You want to?
No, I don't want to.
No, you want to.
I don't want to.
Okay, we won't. We'll go home. I'll have my pajamas on in an hour. Less than an hour, probably.
I'll be out into something.
We got to put them pants in the wash machine.
What pants.
The ones you got on.
Oh, well, who has said anything about it besides you? You have.
Nobody. I just got to keep you going, though. I got to
But
keep
they
you.
do, I agree
I
with
got
you.
to keep you looking sharp in case there's a really rich, old man and he
What if he's
sees
so
you.
darn blind you couldn't see
Well,
it?
it don't matter if he's blind because he's rich.
Well, I couldn't even get one that had eyes, much less one that's
Well,
not
I
got.
mean, if we got to keep you looking good. Now, there's one thing about it. Mama don't want no old woman clothes. And Lord forbid, don't you ever give her an old woman purse. She don't carry one anymore, but used to when she did.
I carry one if I'm by myself.
We were somewhere, Belk or somewhere, and she's wanting a purse, and this woman put out what looked like an old woman's pocketbook, you know. She said, I don't want that old. See them balloons right there? We go to that party.
Oh, I don't want to go.
She said, don't you give me no old woman looking purse. She said, I want that little clutch bag over there. That's exactly what you did.
I don't remember.
Oh,
but
you
God
did.
knows.
You told her, you like, don't give me an old woman looking purse. No,
She thought
but
you
no,
did.
Mother was talking about if we could find you a really, really rich old man.
You think I want one of them little snotter
I'm
slippers
not
around me?
necessarily thinking about you. I'm thinking about him being rich and leaving it to us.
Well, he'd have to leave it in the jug and go home.
Well, now, we might could talk him into leaving his money in a jug and going home. He'd probably want to cuddle up next to you, though.
Well, I'm sorry, he's out of luck.
Out of luck. Slap out of luck.
Money
isn't
and all.
it? As we say in Alabama, you slap out of luck.
I'm slapped out of it, and I ain't playing on
Ain't
it.
going there no more, are you?
Nope. I done been there and done that.
All right. Well, we're heading home now.
Yeah, because we're full.
We're going to give our jaws a rest. That is not going to happen.
We do this about
Not,
every 2 weeks.
yeah, not with me and her in the car. Our jaws, I don't know why I'm itching. I'm itching about something.
Probably got bugs.
I probably do. If we're in the car, our mouths are going to be going. So
We
anyway,
can't.
anyway, tell everybody goodbye.
Bye, everybody. And I mean it, too.
And I mean it.
I'm not
Bye,
playing. I
y'all.
won't play.
Bye.